Welcome to Lunar Lullabies. Hello, my dear traveler. I'm so glad you've joined us tonight on Lunar Lullabies. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Our channel is a sanctuary for magical sleep stories, crafted to help you relax and drift into a world of dreams. Tonight, I invite you on a journey to Transylvania, to the castle of Count Dracula, where an eternal soul seeks love to find peace. Imagine yourself in a dark Transylvanian forest, where the branches of trees reach for the sky, their leaves whispering ancient secrets in the cold wind. A gentle, silvery fog wraps around the ground, and the moon, large and pale, casts a soft light that dances on the fallen leaves. You hear the distant sound of a violin, a melody filled with longing, calling you to a castle perched atop a hill, its spires dark but its windows glowing with a tender crimson light. In this castle lives Count Dracula, not a monster, but a man, weary of eternal life. His eyes, deep and sorrowful, have seen centuries, yet his heart still remembers what it means to love. The curse of immortality weighs heavily on him, and he dreams of becoming mortal again, to feel the warmth of the sun, the taste of bread, the joy of a simple day. Legend speaks of an ancient ritual that can break the curse, but it requires true love, pure, fearless, a love that sees not the Count of Darkness, but the man within. Are you ready for this story? Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and let the journey begin. Chapter 1, A meeting under the stars. You walk along a path to the castle, the air growing cooler, filled with the scent of pine and damp earth. You hear the rustle of leaves beneath your feet, and suddenly you see her, a young woman named Elina, sitting in a clearing, painting the stars. Her hair, the color of the night sky, flows in the wind, and her eyes shine as if reflecting constellations. She isn't afraid of the forest's darkness, for to her, Transylvania is a place of magic, where the stars whisper stories. Count Dracula watches her from the shadows, his heart, silent for centuries, suddenly stirring. He steps toward her, his figure tall and dark, but his voice gentle as he asks, "Why do you not fear the night?" Elina smiles and replies, "The night is a time for dreams. And I believe there's light even in the darkness." Her words strike Dracula, and for the first time in centuries, he feels someone sees not his curse, but his soul. They talk until dawn, and Elina shows him her paintings, stars dancing, a castle glowing under the moon. Dracula shares his curse with her, and she promises to help. She's heard of an ancient ritual at the Temple of Moonlight, where love can break the curse. Dracula looks at her with hope, but his eyes hold fear that his darkness might destroy her light. Chapter 2, Memories of Humanity. The next night, Dracula invites Elina to his castle. The castle's halls are grand but empty, with crystal chandeliers casting a dim glow and portraits staring with sorrowful eyes. Dracula leads her to a ballroom where he once danced as a mortal man. He tells her how he loved music and dancing, how he laughed with friends, how he dreamed of a simple life. Elina takes his hand and offers to dance. She hums a gentle melody, and Dracula, though hesitant, begins to move. Their dance is slow but filled with warmth, and for the first time in centuries, Dracula feels alive. Elina whispers, "You're not a monster. I see the man in you." Her words bring back memories of who he was, and he feels the curse weaken, though it doesn't break. They decide to journey to the Temple of Moonlight, but Dracula warns that the path will be dangerous. The forest is filled with magic that may test their hearts. Elina smiles and says, "I believe in us." Her faith gives Dracula hope, and they set out under the starry sky. Chapter 3, The Forest of Whispers. You walk through the Transylvanian forest, where the trees whisper ancient legends, and the fog glows with a silvery light. Elina holds Dracula's hand, her warmth calming him. But the forest comes alive, shadows of trees move as if to stop them, and the whispers grow louder. You cannot escape the curse. Dracula feels the darkness within him rise, and he fears it might harm Elina. Elina notices his fear and pulls out her painting, a star shining over the forest. "When I'm afraid, I look to the stars. They remind me there's always light," she says. She draws a star on Dracula's palm, and her gentle touch soothes him. The darkness recedes, and the forest's whispers quiet, as if acknowledging the strength of their bond. They continue their journey, and Dracula feels Elina's love becoming his strength. He realizes she is his chance at salvation, but he fears the ritual might demand a sacrifice. Chapter 4, The Temple of Moonlight. You reach the Temple of Moonlight, an ancient structure wrapped in glowing ivy, its interior lit by soft moonlight streaming through a crystal dome. In the center stands an altar with an ancient scroll that reads, "Only love, pure and fearless, can break the curse of eternal life." Elina reads the ritual. Dracula and his beloved must dance under the moonlight, recalling the brightest moments that bind their hearts. But there's a condition: if the love isn't true, the darkness will consume them both. Dracula hesitates, fearing his past might destroy Elina, but she takes his hands and whispers, "I'm not afraid." They begin their dance, and Elina recalls their first meeting under the stars, how she painted for him, how he smiled as he remembered music. Dracula feels his heart come alive, and the darkness within him melts under the light of her love. Chapter 5. The sacrifice of love. As they dance, the moonlight grows brighter, and the altar comes alive, releasing glowing threads that wrap around Dracula and Elina. But suddenly, Dracula feels his darkness resist. It doesn't want to let him go. He hears a whisper, "If you become mortal, you'll lose everything." Dracula realizes the ritual demands a sacrifice. He must give up his memories of eternity to become mortal. He looks at Elina, her eyes glowing with love. "I want to remember only you," he says, and agrees to the sacrifice. The threads of light envelop him, and he feels centuries of darkness fade, leaving only warmth. His eyes, once crimson, turn brown, and his heart begins to beat like a human's. Elina embraces him, and they dance on, feeling the temple's magic bless them. Dracula feels alive for the first time in centuries, his fear replaced by peace. Chapter 6. The first dawn. The ritual ends, and Dracula and Elina step out of the temple. The sky over Transylvania lightens, dawn is breaking, and Dracula sees the sun for the first time in centuries. Its rays gently touch his skin, and he feels the warmth he's longed for. Elina smiles and says, "You're free." They walk through the forest, hand in hand, and Dracula notices how everything feels new: the scent of flowers, the song of birds, the rustle of leaves. He's no longer the Count of Darkness, but a mortal man who can live, love, and dream. Elina promises to paint him a new picture, a dawn over their new life. Dracula feels peace in his heart, and his voice, once filled with longing, is tender as he thanks Elina for her love. They sit in the clearing where they first met, watching the sun rise over the mountains. Chapter 7. A new beginning. Dracula and Elina decide to stay in Transylvania, but leave the castle that was once his prison. They find a small cottage at the edge of the forest, where Elina paints stars and dawns, and Dracula learns to live as a mortal. He tries baking bread, laughing when it doesn't turn out, and feels joy in simple things. Elina teaches him to dance to the music of her voice, and they spend evenings wrapped in each other's arms under the starry sky. Dracula no longer fears the darkness, for he now has Elina's light. He feels each day fill his life with meaning, and his heart is full of gratitude for her love. They dream of a future, of children, of travels, of paintings Elina will create for the world. Dracula knows his life now belongs to him, and he's ready to live it with love. Chapter 8. Under the starry sky. One evening, Dracula and Elina lie in the clearing, gazing at the stars. Elina traces an imaginary star in the sky and says, "This star is ours. It will always shine for us." Dracula smiles and holds her close, feeling the warmth of her body soothe him. He remembers how he once feared his darkness would destroy her, but now knows her light was stronger. He whispers, "You gave me life," and Elina replies, "And you gave me a fairy tale." Their voices blend with the whisper of the wind, and the stars above shine as if blessing their love. You feel their story fill you with peace, and the stars above grow closer, their light wrapping around you, preparing you for sleep. You lie in the clearing, surrounded by the glow of stars, their melody echoing in your mind like a gentle lullaby. You feel the warmth of Dracula and Elina's love fill you, and all worries fade, leaving only peace. You know their story ended happily, and their joy lulls you. You hear Elina's whisper from afar, "Rest, traveler. Let the stars guard your dreams." Her voice blends with the melody of the wind, and you feel your breathing slow, your eyelids heavy. You drift into sleep, surrounded by the magic of Transylvania, knowing that love always conquers darkness. Good night, traveler. Sweet dreams. And until we meet again on Lunar Lullabies.